Hello and welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today marks the 5th anniversary of Long Beach Treasures, and I want to thank you for your continued support and encouragement. And I hope that we'll bring you many more interesting shows during this next year. Today we're at the Long Beach Playhouse, which is a historical theater here in Long Beach, and we're going to go in and meet the managing director, Gigi Meese. So if you'll come with me, we'll go meet Gigi. Hi, Gigi.
Welcome to the Long Beach Playhouse.
Thank you for letting us come and visit.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Tell us all about it. This room is?
This room is known as the part of the gallery, which is when you come to the Long Beach Playhouse on any given evening. This is where we have a piano player playing, and we have everybody mingling prior to a show. This is also a curated art gallery. Elaine Herman, who is our artistic director, chooses different local artists to display their work throughout the year. Some do it for exhibit only, some have their work for sale. We take no commission. We just like to have this opportunity to give to local artists to display their work.
Are these some examples of some of the costumes that have been used in some of the productions?
Exactly. Donna Fritchie, who's our resident costume designer, and she also manages our costume shop, she is amazing. She works on all 16 productions, and we have a wealth of costumes to pull from, but she also builds what we consider building new costumes. And here's a little handiwork of hers. And we change this display every 6 weeks or so.
Now, you said this is the lobby area and you have a piano player. Do you have a wine bar?
We do. We sell beer and wine and sodas at pre-show and at intermission. Right through this. This is also part of the gallery here. And as you can see, we have a lot more artwork in this room, and we have our grand piano.
And I assume these photos are of different productions that have appeared here at the Playhouse?
Exactly, exactly. These are some photos of some work that's been done throughout the years. I wish we had more wall space so we could cover all the walls with all the shows we've done. But it's just a little example of what we've done.
Well, let's go on in this way. Where are we heading? The theater lobby?
We're going to go to the theater lobby, which is the original part of the building when it was built in 1950. Right here, this is the entryway into the lobby.
Give me a little history of the theater.
Well, the Playhouse itself as an organization started in 1929, and the Playhouse, which was called the Theater Guild, the Players Guild, and many things through the years, started as a social group who liked to get together and also do plays, and worked in different venues throughout the city over the last 75 years. And Mrs. Ethel Case, who was a great administrator of the Playhouse, worked here as a volunteer for 42 years. She was, and along with the other people on the board, was wise enough to purchase this plot of land here on Anaheim Street. And they broke ground in 1949. In 1950, we opened up this venue, which consisted of the main stage theater and the lobby. So this is the original part of the building. Through the years, the gallery was added and our studio theater was added in the 60s.
Wasn't this originally part of the Wayside Colony started down where the East Village is now?
Yes, that is correct. And like I said, it played through different venues throughout the city, on Atlantic, also at the Union Depot at First and Alamitos in the 30s. And throughout all of our years, our 75 years, we've had a great many players here. Some went on to certain fame, like Robert Mitchum. If you can see our little wall of fame.
Oh, you have a gallery here.
Yeah, our wall of fame here is Robert Mitchum and Robert Cornthwaite and Hugh Beaumont and DeForest Kelley, Lorraine Day. We've had these people here throughout the Playhouse all these years. It's a great part of our history.
Have there been any more recent? These are all established stars of the past.
Right. I like to say that everybody that comes through the Playhouse door is a star. So we're lucky. I mean, amazing the talent that we have in Long Beach and the local surrounding areas. We get actors that come as far away as Riverside and Hollywood to come and act at the Playhouse.
Is this your main stage theater right over here?
It is. Would you like to follow me?
I would. Now, how many productions do you do a year?
Well, we do 16. We have 2 theaters. Each theater has its own separate season of 8 shows. And we stagger them, so every 3 weeks we're loading in a new show between the 2 theaters. And this is our main stage theater.
Now, would you consider this a theater in the round?
No, it's known as a 3/4 thrust stage. And it holds 200 seats. As you can see, it's extremely, there's not a bad seat in the house. It's a very intimate space. This is the set currently for a show we're doing called Mr. Roberts, but in January we're opening a show, The Rose Tattoo, which is celebrating the 1950s slot of our Best of 7 Decades season for our 75th anniversary.
Now, do you use equity actors, or are a lot of them community players?
Well, both theaters, both our studio and main stage, the auditions are open to anyone who's willing to participate. Come down and audition. Our studio theater is an equity waiver space, so we can employ equity and SAG actors upstairs.
So you have a play all the time?
Every weekend. 50 weeks out of the year, we have 2 shows playing at the Playhouse.
What's wrong with the other 2 weeks?
We need a little rest.
Oh.
Just a little rest. We're just getting close to the deadline there, but it runs like clockwork. Could not run this Playhouse without the army of volunteers that, you know, brought our Playhouse to where it is today. They still help us on what we call set Sundays and striking the existing set and loading in the new one. Typically, Harvey, what we do is a show will close Saturday night, and the following Sunday morning, we strike that set, load in the new set. We have 3 days, actually, to paint it, light it, and then it opens to the first dress rehearsal on that Thursday.
Well, you're on a tight schedule.
We are. Like I said, every 3 weeks, we're loading in a new show between each theater. Typically, a run of a show runs about 6 to 7 weeks.
Now, I assume that you have run the gamut from comedies to dramas to musicals?
Exactly. This last year we did a musical, Ernest in Love. We do, especially on the main stage, the traditional fare of, you know, farce, drama, a murder mystery comedy. In our studio theater, we tend to go with more the adult fare, which is a little bit more adult and thought-provoking, a little bit more daring fare upstairs, let's say, than the main stage. So we try to give the community a little something from each genre of theater.
Now, any seat in here would be a good seat, wouldn't it?
It's an excellent theater. There's not a bad seat in this house.
Do you sell season subscriptions?
We do, and we have a wonderful season subscriber base. We've had patrons that have been coming here for a better part of 50 years, thank God. We love them. And we're trying to cultivate also the next generation to come to the Playhouse. I myself am just the current caretaker of this wonderful place, and I'm just hoping that I can keep it in good repair for the next generation so they can run it.
Does the production that you're doing have a bearing on the age group that attends?
Well, we try to appeal to the broad audience, but we also know what our audiences care for and what they don't. And like I said, we're very lucky that we can offer the old chestnuts, if you will, the classics downstairs, and give something like this last season upstairs. We've done 6 Degrees of Separation, which sold out every night. So there's an audience for that type of work as well as a Rose Tattoo. So we're trying to give something for everybody.
Do you not allow nonprofits or organizations to have fundraisers here?
Oh yes, that's a big popular thing here. Thursday nights are set aside for fundraisers or benefit performances, and local charity groups buy out the house, and they come here on that Thursday night, and they have the use of our gallery and our kitchen and our lobby, and they invite their people to come here and see the show. For some groups, it's their big fundraiser year. They have silent auctions out front, and they get to see a fabulous show, and they make a lot of money for their organization. They're very, very popular. Shows like Mr. Roberts and Barefoot in the Park sold out like that for benefits. So benefits are still available.
Is that every Thursday it's available?
Thursday nights are available for benefits during a run of a show, correct.
Where are we going next?
Well, I thought I would take you back to the glamorous side of the Playhouse, which is the backstage area.
All right.
You'd like to follow me?
Let's go.
You get used to walking around in the dark a lot in a theater like this, so.
It always amazes me when the lights, there is no lights on stage and the actors can hit their cue marks and the lights come up, and I think, dear God, how can they see?
Well, watch your step. This is our backstage area known as the green room for our main stage, and this we have our dressing rooms. And also, this is where the actors hang out waiting for their cues to go on stage. As you can see, there's not a square inch of this playhouse that isn't used for something. We have storage here of our draperies and fabric and props. As you can see, we have all kinds of luggage stored up here for different shows, different props.
Looks a little different back here.
It's a little different. It's a little different, but we try to make it homey.
Is this the entry to the stage for the actors?
This is the back, yes, this is the where the actors come on and off on the upstage of Mr. Roberts currently. So this is their perspective, looking out. Now, now it looks kind of funky right now, but Rose Tattoo is auditioning on the set of Mr. Roberts. The Rose Tattoo opens January 2nd, runs through February 14th. So this playhouse is extremely busy. We have performances Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings, and Sunday afternoons. The rest of the week we're rehearsing for the upcoming production, and then we always have on deck the next show ready to audition. So we're always very busy around here.
Do you remember who the actress was who was so famous when she starred in the Rose Tattoo?
Oh, yes. Whose name escapes me.
And you're going to draw blank because I asked you.
I'm going to say it incorrectly. It's Anya? Oh, gosh, I can't remember. Thanks, Harvey.
Oh, that's all right. You'll remember later and it'll pop
But that
to your
was the
mind.
movie. We're talking about the live theatrical production
Right.
here. Yes, the cast looks fabulous, and we're really excited for that to open. I think everybody will enjoy that show in January.
And we have more back here. This is quite a large place.
Yeah, people are always really surprised when they come to see what we have here. They just think it's the front and the stage, and that's it. I'm going to take you back. This is our scene shop. We're very, very lucky to have our own on-site scene shop. We have a resident technical director and resident set designer, and his name is Vincent Roca. And he pre-builds the sets here with a legion of volunteers. As you can see, it's you know, the workshop that all the guys love to come in here and work and have a good time and build sets. And so what we do is they'll build it, they'll put out a set here in the shop, pre-paint it, then they'll strike it down in pieces and then get ready to load it in on our set Sunday.
Does he design the sets?
He designs most of them. He's our resident set designer. Elaine Herman, our artistic director, she also designs, as well as every now and then we have a guest designer. We also have an on-site costume shop, which is hidden from you right now, but it's upstairs. You saw a little bit of Donna's handiwork up front in the lobby, but we have a full-time costume designer, and she comes in. She also has a legion of volunteers that helps her as well.
It must be a big job to put on a production.
It sure is. Couldn't do it without everybody lending a hand, that's for sure.
Well, you've been successful for, what, 75 years, so you must be doing something right.
Well, the Playhouse is really lucky that they had all these great people who volunteered all those years to get us to where we are today. So we're just extremely lucky. And what we do is we provide opportunity for the community to participate. You can come down and volunteer. If you've always wanted to work on costumes, you're always welcome to come down here and help us out. If you'd like to use a hammer, you can come down and hang out with the guys and help build sets. Also, if you thought, you know, I always wanted to act, oh, I don't know where to start. I mean, the Playhouse is where you have the opportunity to come and audition and try.
I would assume that you have some very minor parts for somebody to get their feet wet if they wanted to try?
Always, yes. And those are the most precious people, too, that are willing to take that small part with a couple lines. They're usually the ones that steal the show.
Well, I think there's another theater
There
upstairs,
is. Let me
isn't
show
there?
that to you. Come on with me.
Okay.
That's the main stage.
Okay, Gigi, before we go up to the studio upstairs, we're going to take a break, so don't go away. We'll be right back with more Long Beach Treasures.
What do you like best about cable TV, sir?
Well, I guess I like the local coverage, particularly the Belmont Shore Christmas Parade. And there's some other neat events goes around town and sports and the latest happenings. It's great.
But what do you like best about cable?
Well, all the variety, so many shows. I love them all, lots of options and a great price. That's what I like about cable.
Well, I like Discovery Channel, Learning Channel, but I also like the local stuff on Channel 3. I have a good time watching it. I just gave birth to the great American novel, and it has to be at the publishers first thing tomorrow.
She's gonna make it.
Sam was my mailboxes, etc. guy. Now he's my UPS store guy. Sam treats my baby with tender, loving care. He even saves me money. They really know their stuff, including great literature.
New low rates, same great service. Call 1-800-PICK-UPS.
Pacific Family Health Clinic is a low-cost, high-quality alternative to the rushed impersonal medical office. This medical school-affiliated teaching clinic returns to the personal, timely, quality care that's often missing in medicine today. You'll be seen in a relaxed, comfortable environment with the thoroughness of care and individual attention necessary for good health. So if you need a good family doctor for the long term, or just a one-time visit for a second opinion or a specific problem, the Pacific Family Health Clinic is the place to go.
To our studio theater, which is affectionately known as upstairs.
Is it a smaller theater?
It is a smaller theater. This is our equity waiver space, so this is where we can get some equity actors can work in this space as opposed to downstairs, which is considered non-union. Now, this is a very busy stage today because we're loading in a new show, Beyond Therapy, which will run through January 17th, 2004. Hi, Vinny. Vinny Roca is our resident set designer as well as our technical director, and he runs the shop that we were at earlier.
Oh, you're the master builder.
Yeah, that's why I'm just always busy.
And so he has really 3 days to get a show, built and painted and dressed and ready to go by dress rehearsal on Thursday. So the show that was up here before, which was Crossing Delancey.
If he has 3 days, I'm assuming that the sets have been pre-built?
He pre-builds them in the shop downstairs that you saw. So like all the platforms are pre-built, but then it's the big work of getting it upstairs and getting them in place and painting them and plugging them and making sure that it all fits with his design. But he has 3 days to do it in.
Now this theater is more in a traditional style of a
Exactly.
theater.
This is a traditional proscenium space. And we have fly space. I don't know if you can see it here, but we can fly in flats to make some new scenes here. Because it is, even though it's traditional proscenium, it's a really small space compared to downstairs.
I would think that this stage would require more lavish sets than the one downstairs because these have walls.
Exactly. So we really creative. We've just done so many great things up here. And this is the 37th year of the Studio Theater, and we're getting ready for our next season. And so Beyond Therapy, I think it's going to be a wonderful show. It looks really great, and even though it looks a mess right now, just wait till it opens. It's going to look gorgeous. And this is, as you can see, this is the house. So we hold 98 seats here.
Now, do you ever sell this out for fundraisers, or is just
Yes, both theaters are available for Thursday night benefits. This is 98 seats. If you have a smaller group, then this is the perfect venue for your group.
That would be great for neighborhood organizations and people that have smaller.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had benefits here for the Long Beach Police, as well as the East Anaheim Street Business Alliance, which the Playhouse is a member of. All the merchants up and down Anaheim Street, we've gotten together and had benefits up here. So it's a really nice venue, and if you think you can sell about 50 to 60 tickets or under 100, this is the best venue. Downstairs, 100 people looks really small in 200 seating.
Let's sit down for a minute
Okay.
because I want you to tell me about what's happening in February.
Well, I'm very excited. Everybody on the board of directors and the board of trustees of the Long Beach Playhouse will be celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Long Beach Playhouse. Can you believe that?
I know, it's
First
longevity.
it's first of all, to be a business to last that long and a nonprofit theater business, that's just huge, and always in the city of Long Beach. So we're having a Diamond Jubilee celebration and fundraising event in February, on February 8th, as a matter of fact, at the Petroleum Club on, it's on Linden Street.
Up in North Long Beach.
Exactly. And we're hoping to have a good time, celebrate, give ourselves a birthday party, and raise some funds for the building, to keep the building going over the next few years.
Is this going to be a dinner or what?
It's gonna be a dinner. It's gonna be dancing. It's just gonna be a big blowout of a party.
Silent auction?
We're working on silent auctions right now. We're looking for anybody who'd like to donate anything to the Long Beach Playhouse for our silent auction. We would love to have it. But it's really just a celebration. We're gonna have some speeches. We're gonna have a PowerPoint presentation. We have 20 to 30,000 still photos of pictures from shows from back in the 30s, and we're going to have presentations of that and celebrate our own. And we have some fabulous talent. Again, we've had people here working still for 50 years.
Now, you said you're a nonprofit.
We're a nonprofit organization, that's correct.
Now, so many of the theaters, ICT, Public Corporation for the Arts, are funded by the city of Long Beach. Are you?
Well, the Public Corporation for the Arts is the organization that the city puts their money through for the arts.
It's the umbrella organization.
Exactly, and they're, thank God for them. They're a really great advocate for all the arts in the city of Long Beach. And we have in the past received operational grants through the PCA from the city. We don't really get much else from as far as big donations. We do have fabulous people who give us money through our annual trustees drive and through our membership drive, but primarily we're supported by ticket sales, though we're looking to fundraise more as the future holds with this economy. We need to definitely go out there and put our hand out like everybody else and say, hey, remember us, we're the Playhouse. But yes, we have received money through the PCA.
Surprises me that you would be able to support a theater of this size on ticket sales.
I know. Well, we couldn't do it without volunteers, that's for sure. People getting paid to do anything is a real new thing around here at the Playhouse. Like I said, without our volunteers and the people willing to give them themselves and their lives to the Playhouse and come here, do this work, and run the box office, we couldn't be in the position we are now. But the times are changing, and we definitely need to look out there and see what monies are out there available for the Playhouse so it could continue for another 75 years.
Could I ask what your ticket prices are?
Our ticket prices are $20. They're $18 for seniors. And we have student rush tickets that are $10 10 minutes prior to production for any unsold seats.
That's very reasonable.
Well, we made sure we were still lower than everybody else in town, and that's really one of our primary missions, is to provide quality theater to our community at reasonable prices. And so I hope that everybody enjoyed this tour of the Playhouse and will come down. If, a lot of people say, gee, I've always been by that building, but I've never gone in. Come on in. We'd be happy to have you, and I hope you enjoy the shows.
How will they get to buy tickets for your benefit?
You can just call the Playhouse. We're at 562-494-1014. Ask for Gigi, and I will be happy to take all that information for you. And same number to buy tickets. And we're located at 5021 East Anaheim Street here in the beautiful city of Long Beach. And again, celebrating 75 years of continuous operation, which I think is
That's
amazing.
Remarkable.
It's remarkable.
When you stop to think how a little theater group in the 1920s started in downtown area and has gone
just for fun. Oh, let's just get together and have some fun, and we'll do some shows. And here we are. And we're an award-winning theater. We've had many people come through here. People always think of Long Beach Playhouse as home. When they come back, they always say they're so happy to be home. And we're just very, very fortunate here in the city of Long Beach to have such a wonderful venue. I know myself, I came here when I was in high school, to see shows. So I'm hoping that the next generation remembers that we're here and we're doing shows for you. You can participate, come down and audition, you can work backstage, and you can come and see some really great theater 50 weeks out of the year.
Do you ever get any personalities, names that stop by to see the productions?
On occasion it's hard to say. Some people sneak in. Luckily, some actors, they know people, and they come to see each other. So the Playhouse has a really wonderful reputation and for doing good quality theater. And you know, you could come any weekend except for Christmas and New Year's and have a choice of 2 fabulous shows, either upstairs or down.
Now, as managing director, are you the one responsible for picking and selecting the types of productions?
Not entirely. It's done by a committee, and Elaine Herman, our artistic director, is key in choosing the work that we do. Like I said, the main stage we do more the family fare, the more traditional comedies, murder mysteries, dramas, where we do a little bit more cutting-edge fare in our studio theater. A little bit more thought-provoking, with more adult themes and situations up here.
Okay. Tell me, what's your favorite show?
My favorite show, I have 2. Mr. Roberts and The Philadelphia Story. I just love those 2 plays.
Okay, well, you know, this has been fun, and I'm really impressed with the theater. I'm impressed with how long you've been in existence, and you just, like the Energizer Bunny, you guys just keep going and going and going.
We do. Again, I don't know, we couldn't do it without our volunteers and also the patrons out there that have supported the arts in Long Beach and the Playhouse especially. We want to thank them, and we hope that they continue to come and enjoy the Playhouse as well as their families and their grandkids. And thank you for being here
Thanks,
today.
Thanks, Gigi. And be sure and join us again next month as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures. Welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're going to be visiting the 16th Historical District in the city of Long Beach, Elliott Lane. And joining me today is a person who lives up here, Linda Becker Babiak.
Oh, very good. You got that right. Good morning.
Hi, Linda. Tell me about Elliott Lane.
Well, Elliott Lane is a very special street in Long Beach, and I think it's the only almost completely intact historical district in that the original houses are all still here. I think that's fairly unique, even in the historic districts. And my family's lived on Elliott Lane since 1925, so I do know a little bit about it, and I grew up with Elliott Lane, and originally, I've seen on old plats it was called Elliott Alley, and then my father said it was Elliott Court when he was growing up, and at some time it was changed to Elliott Lane, and I don't really know why, but so it's always been Elliott something, and I don't know if you remember, but 3rd Street used to be Elliott Street years ago, and so this was Elliott Alley off of Elliott Street, which was, 3rd Street up
now,
there.
These lots are all half lots, correct?
Yes. Yeah, little, I think mine is 30 by 60. And the lots for the houses behind us, which is also part of our tract, but not part of the historic district, are 10 feet deeper than our lots because we have the small 1-bedroom houses on Elliott Lane.
So St. Joseph and Argonne both have half lots on these sides of the street.
Yes, but their half lots are a little bit deeper. They got a little more of our backyard.
So this is almost like an alley between two major streets.
Yes, well, yeah, and basically when you go up there, it is the alley between St. Joseph and Argonne.
And you have an eclectic mix of architecture here. While we're looking, why don't we just walk up the street towards your house, and
okay.
We can talk as we're walking so that we can get our viewers a picture of Elliott Lane.
Okay.
Now, most of these homes are, a lot of them are Spanish bungalows.
Yeah, there's a mix between Spanish stuccos and bungalows, which we've just passed one bungalow style. And then even among the Spanish ones, they varied the architecture, so they're not all exactly the same. They have different front porches, different front windows. The roof treatments are even different. You see how some have these little built-up around the roof line where others are flat. So they didn't just like they do today take 2 or 3 styles of houses and change the color on them. They actually built the same house inside with a unique exterior for, I mean, not every single house, but that even like this house here is almost identical to mine, but it has a different porch on it. So they changed a little bit on almost every single house. There's really almost no two alike.
Now, these were all 1 bedroom with a Murphy bed in the front room?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And they range from 600 to 900 square feet?
Well, our house started out at 580 square feet. And we do have a bedroom that was added on in the 40s by my grandparents, and most of these have had bedrooms added on. But the original houses were 540 square feet, and now if they've been added on to, depending on the size of what they added on, then they could be, I'm not certain there's any 900 square foot house on Elliott Lane. There might be on the back side, Oregon and St. Joseph, but it's possible. I'm just not certain of that.
Now, the garages look pretty small. Would I be able to get my car in one of these?
What do you drive?
A Maxima?
Maybe a Maxima. I'm not certain. A Volkswagen for sure. If you drive a Volkswagen or something the size of a Volkswagen, you probably could get it into one of these garages.
Now, I notice this home over here.
Yeah?
Before we go into yours, which is right
Okay.
here, this one is being redone.
Yes, we lost our neighbor Betty, who lived there since 1940, about 3 years ago, and it went through the whole probate process and was bought by a very nice man who, Long Beach, as a matter of fact. He spent the last, he's been almost a year now working on it, and he still is not in it. He's still working on it, but he's done a nice job and has stuck with, of course, the historic, requirements. And so that's an example of what's, beginning to happen on Elliott Lane.
And I notice across the street, this one is undergoing renovation.
Yeah, this one actually had a bad fire last spring, and it's completely gutted inside right now, and it will be restored, with the guidelines of the historic district.
Since you are a historic district, they have to follow strict rules in any type of exterior renovation?
Well, to tell you the truth, they're not terribly strict, but there are things, like you have to put in wooden windows, which, well, they don't even actually have to be wooden, but they have to be an old-style window, which she's putting in the wood ones. If you re-stucco, it has to be the smooth sand finish, which is what he's put on his and what we have on ours.
They couldn't put this rough finish?
I think they call that lace. They can't do that lace, because that's not an authentic finish. And the roof, if they redo the roof, has to have the tile trim put back on and that sort of thing. Other than that, they're drastically changing the front exterior appearance, but they actually don't care what you do inside. You can do anything inside.
You have to get along pretty well with your neighbors because there's just not a lot of room between the houses. Are most of the people up here people who have lived here for an extended period of time?
Well, we have quite a few neighbors who have been here a long time. And, since we've owned the house, when we first moved on the lane, which a lot of people call the lane, we still had a lot of our older original owners who didn't drive, and that's, Betty actually was, I think, the last one on the street who's now passed away. But, I'd say in the last 10 to 15 years we've lost those old original owners that have, maybe not original, but lived here for a long, long, long time. But we have really nice neighbors.
Knit neighborhood? Do you watch out for each other?
Yeah. Have big parties together and that kind of thing. Yes, we're all very friendly and know one another, and really we don't see crime on the street, and it's a pretty tight-knit group, I'd say.
Now, I notice Elliott Lane is one way, and I understand at one time this was a two-way traffic. It must have been demolition derby.
Well, back then there weren't as many cars. There weren't as many people on the street who owned cars. Like I said, like Betty hadn't driven in years and years. My grandparents who lived here never owned a car. There was a woman up the street here, she didn't drive. So there weren't as many cars trying to park on the street as there are today, and people were just courteous. If you parked on that side of the street, then somebody would have to park on this side of the street, and you'd have to allow space. And I do remember as a teenager in my car coming up here to come visit my grandparents and having a car stopped in the middle of the lane with another one over here, and you couldn't get by, and you'd have to sit there and wait, or honk your horn and, you know, get someone to come out and move their car.
Now, this is your home, and this looks
Yeah.
like it's really in great condition.
Oh, thank you.
Is this original?
Well, it's all original. Is it original? It's the original look of the house, but no, we've changed some things about it. And I can show you some pictures. I mean, the architecture is all original, but there's things we've added. The tile work up in the stucco is not original. We added those. The tiles in the front steps are not original. The front windows were this size of a window, but my grandparents had taken the original windows out like in the 60s and put in a big aluminum single pane horrible window. My grandparents didn't do much with this house, but they did replace windows with a bunch of louvered and aluminum windows that were just terrible. And it cost me a small fortune to get windows back looking like they should have originally. And so when we redid them, I did this diamond pattern, which was not original. It's original to Belmont Heights. I found it on another house, but it's not the exact style of window that was there originally.
They look great, and I know what you mean about replacing windows because I just replaced all of mine. They had put aluminum sliders and louvers. It looks so much nicer with the wooden double-hung window.
Yeah.
I noticed a plaque up there, the Becker House.
Yeah.
And this is called the Becker House because?
Because my grandparents were the Beckers.
Oh, I guess that's a simple reason.
Yes, and since they bought it in 1925, even though I'm a Babiac, my husband and I both agreed that it should be the Becker House.
Now, this says 1923. I assume that's the year that these homes were built?
Yes, yeah.
And all of them were built by the same developer?
Yes, and I have an advertisement when we go inside that you can photograph that came from the April 1923 press telegram for these homes when they were being built and sold.
How long did the process take for you to become designated a historic district?
I think it's a little over a year, yeah.
Could we go in and look at your home?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd love to have you come see it. I like to show it off whenever possible.
Okay. Now, you said your square footage of your home here is?
We think we're about 700 now.
Oh, what a charming home.
Isn't it sweet?
Yes.
I love this house. You know, everybody today seems to want a mega house, you know? And there is something so charming about a small environment. And you can make them work. You can make it function. And it's just great. I would never want this house any bigger than it is right now.
Are the floors original?
Yep, original hardwood floors that we've had refinished.
Wow, they're in beautiful shape.
Yeah, and this is the little built-in that I told you so many have removed so they could have a bigger living room. Like, made a big difference. But ours is still intact. A little drop leaf desk over here and the china cabinet. And as you can see, I'm still working on restoration in here. So this thing is partially stripped. And
is the fireplace original?
Yes, and that's not a fireplace. That's where the heater was originally, the heating system for the house. And it was something similar to what's in there, which is not the original one. But it was a decorative heating element like this. And they became outlawed. I don't know in what year, but because they were somewhat unsafe. But that was the original place for the heater in the house. And this facade here, actually you'll find it in many apartments in Long Beach. This whole unit was like something they could buy and just, you know, plop in there. And a lot of apartments in Long Beach have the exact same
it almost
surround.
looks like Batchelder tiles.
It does, and you know what? It's not tile at all. It's a one-piece I stripped it and had an artist faux paint it to look like Batchelder, but it's actually probably an asbestos composition of some sort, and it's one piece, and it's not tile at all.
Is the chandelier original?
No, it's an original to the period, and the original light here is in our bedroom, and it was not quite as nice as this one. So it's
beautiful.
It's a 20s fixture, but not original in the house.
Now which way?
Well, whichever way.
Let's look at these while
Oh,
we're here.
okay. Let's do. This is the original advertisement, which is not a very good copy, but that was all I could get from the library. And actually, this is what allowed us to get our historic district status, the fact that I found this and could prove to the city that these houses were all built at one time by one builder. That made it unique in the Belmont Heights area.
So Bolander and Smith were the builders?
Yes.
And there are 60 homes on Elliott Lane?
No, 60 homes on the 2 blocks.
Oh.
There's 30 on Elliott Lane, but see, this was the tract. They built a tract of 60 homes. And at the time, which is dated here, April 1923, there were 12 of these homes now under construction.
It doesn't give a price, so you don't know what the original price would have been?
No, not in 1923. I know that, actually I told you my grandparents paid $1,100. I think it was $3,000 is what they paid for theirs. I do have the paperwork.
In what year?
1925 is when they bought theirs.
And that probably would have been a good price at that time.
Well, I do know that in the Depression, they almost lost this house to back taxes because they couldn't pay $15 in taxes. I have all the paperwork from my grandmother of how they almost lost the house.
Now, is this what the house looked like originally?
Well, this is probably from the 60s, our house. But yes, before we did the tile work and so forth. And actually, it hadn't changed much. It was pretty much the original house.
Well, the exterior still looks almost identical.
Yeah.
Except the awning is gone.
Yeah, and these are the original windows. They were wood panes, with squares. But no, everything about the house is still pretty much the same. This is a picture of my dad with his Model T in front of houses on the street. This is our house. That's our neighbors, and you can see he's going that direction, which now would no longer be legal because the street's one way going the other direction.
So the Model T would fit in the garage?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, what nice to have all of these memories.
Yes, and these are more pictures of the street and the house, this was my aunt's scrapbook from when she grew up in the house.
Now, is this you down at the beach?
No, that's my mother. And my grandmother's in this picture. This is my mother over here, but not in this house. She's in an apartment in Long Beach.
The street still looks the same.
I know, it does. Well, that's why we got historic status, because it hasn't changed.
Now, let's keep going. I want to see the rest of the house.
Okay, well...
I know there aren't too many rooms.
No, this kitchen is still very much original. And as you can see, I'm still restoring parts of it. I've got parts done and parts not done, so it's a long process when I'm hand stripping and refinishing everything. But this sink base is the original one that was here when the house was built. We've redone the tile work, the sink, and we've done a lot of work to it, but I wasn't willing to give up my old cabinets. So these are still all these cabinets in here are the original cabinets. This is kind of fun over here, if you can get a picture of this. There used to be a little pull-down table, which I remember as a kid eating peanut butter and jelly right here on this little bench. And in here we have a coolerator cabinet that has the slatted shelves in the air that flows from under the house up through the kitchen. And actually, if you put your hand down there, you'll feel the cool air coming up from under the house.
Now, has this been added on here?
Now, yeah, this is where things change in our house. Starting here, this was originally the laundry porch. So this is part of the original house, which was great. It had plumbing because the washer was here. and the water heater was in here, and then we had a back door where the refrigerator is that went out to the driveway. And so, not being willing to give up my old original kitchen, old kitchens have lower counters and less depth to the counters, and so you can't put a dishwasher in an old cabinet, which is why many people tear them out. And so I did a modern part of the kitchen, so I do have a dishwasher and so forth, where the old laundry room was, but I left my old kitchen intact.
I like this little room. It's so compact. You can just lift everything.
Yeah, my husband, when he's here by himself, he says he just lives right here. It's like an efficiency kitchen. He's got his microwave sink, refrigerator. He says he's got everything he needs.
And this is your breakfast room?
Yeah, we added this on, this little dinette. It's an 8-by-8 room, so we tried to keep it all within the scale of the original house and not do anything that would be out of proportion to what they would have done originally. And then we had our carpenter copy all the original moldings. I went to LA to a salvage yard, found this matches our original hardware. So I really did the details here. So it's all like the original, but it's not original. And then a cabinet maker made this. We've got a little storage under the, just like they would have done back then, to try to keep everything very utilitarian.
So this is your main dining area then?
This is the only dining area in the house.
So you don't have many large sit-down dinners?
No, but we do have what I call the dining patio.
This looks nice out here.
And that's why my backyard was so important to me, is that we hired a landscape architect to design the backyard to make the outdoor like living space, since the house is so small. And so we have the dining patio, has a heater, a light, it's all protected. I had a dinner party out here 2 nights ago, 6 people. We were all out here having dinner. So this is where we dine now.
And the French doors lead into
the
garage?
Murphy bed.
Oh!
This is the sleeping patio.
I'll be darned.
And this is where my guests stay when I have them. We pull that bed down, and it is, enclosed on 3 sides. We have very nice neighbors back here, and we know them real well, and the backyard is private and enclosed, and so this is our guest room.
That's unique. I like that.
Well, some people would have built another bedroom and given up their backyard, but I wasn't about to do that, so.
I like how you've carried out the theme with the mission-styled lights out here, and everything just seems to flow together.
Well, we had a great landscape architect who, really understood what we were trying to accomplish here, and that we wanted this to be very true to the period. And he did a great job. I mean, even coming up with this little brick edging that was so common in the 20s, but no one really does anymore. It was all our landscape
Probably
architect.
doesn't take you too long to mow the grass.
Well, I have a gardener. Can you believe it? But I do all my own planting and flower bed work. And
are these Catalina tile?
They're reproductions of Catalina tiles. This is more of what we've done. We did the nice tile work, but the gal who made the tiles understood that we wanted something that was authentic to the period, and so she came up with the patterns and the colors and so forth. She did a very nice job on that.
Could we go back in and look at the bathroom and bedroom?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, back into the main part of the house. I like the smallness. It just feels comfortable.
Isn't it cozy? This is where our Murphy bed used to be. Now here's the bathroom. I don't know, getting in there might be kind of difficult.
You must have retiled.
Yes, yeah, the tile, that bathroom really had no tile. These were modest homes. They didn't do fancy things with them. And so, yeah, this is more of me. It's all period appropriate tile, but not something the house had originally. But it is my original bathtub, and still in very nice shape.
I like the colors. It's really quite attractive.
Well, you have to really spend some time thinking about what you're doing, you know, to carry it all out and make it come out right.
And this is the
Now, this is something really undone.
master bedroom?
Yeah, really totally undone, and you don't really want to go that way.
There's another.
That's our storeroom back there, but you can see I'm still in the process of stripping paint and redoing the walls, and the ceilings we've had replastered in all the rooms, but I haven't painted it yet. And but this room has the original wood floors. It is the original one-bedroom that was in the house, very tiny. But we make it work.
Linda, I want to thank you for taking us on a tour of Elliott Lane and your home. It's just really a charming area, and I want to thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to it.
And don't go away. We'll be right back with more Long Beach Treasures.
We have customers that talk to us all the time about how it helps with help them keep connected with the community in terms of what's going on, and renewed commitment to providing better service. We've sort of taken a hard look at our call center and our field technicians, and we're empowering them to do the right thing so that hopefully we can make all our customers happy with their service, and that's our focus. I think we view it as a very important part of our offering.
Hi, I'm George Jones, host of Channel 3's Sidebar. For over a decade, I've been litigating personal injury lawsuits and business disputes throughout the state of California. I represent both plaintiffs and defendants, and now I'd like to put that litigation experience to work for you. If you're considering a lawsuit, please call me for a free case evaluation. My phone number is 562-435-9501. Thank you.
I love my kids. We do everything together. We've had some great times. It's painful to think that these memories could be lost. That's why I save all my home movies to Panasonic DVD. That way I know they're safe for up to 75 years. So if you'd like to save your precious memories, bring them in to Avid Electronics.
Hello and welcome back to Long Beach Treasures. Now, although it's not a historic restaurant, it's been around for a long time, we're going to go in and check out the Prospector. So if you'll come with me, we'll go inside and see what the Prospector's like. And here we are in the Prospector, and this is Louis. I guess you're the owner here.
Pleasure to meet you. Yes, I am.
Well, this is the bar area, and you've been here, I guess, you're celebrating your 38th anniversary?
That is correct. I've been here for 25 years overall myself. Took over from the Haskell family. Papa Haskell was the original owner back in 1965 when he opened up. And I worked for them as a cook for 16 years, and then I bought the place from them.
And you have karaoke here at night?
I got karaoke twice a week, so Wednesday night and Friday nights.
Do you sing?
No, I do not. Only under the shower.
Let's go in and check out the restaurant.
Okay.
You know, I used to eat here when I was in college, so I know you've been here for a while.
It's been a few years.
And I guess one of the reasons when we were struggling college students and we ate here is because your prices are always right.
Yes, and I have continued with that tradition from the Haskell family. Just keep on with the neighborhood people and young kids from college, you know, make them affordable to eat a good meal, good steaks.
And I imagine you probably have a lot of customers who've been coming here for years and years and years.
Quite a few regulars. Thank God for that, because those are the ones that maintain me going.
Okay, now tell me what your lobster and steak go for now.
$14.99.
Still a good bargain,
Still
isn't
a bargain, absolutely. You still get your relish straight. Soup and salad.
I think when we used to come here, it seems like I used to get, would come on spaghetti night, and it seemed like it was only $1.50, $2. It was something really reasonable.
I still got that the last Tuesday of the month. $3.99, all spaghetti, all you can eat with meat sauce, and a free glass of wine with it. Of course, for 21 years and over only.
So all those struggling college students, they can still come here on special nights and fill up.
And I do get my great share from them.
Do you?
I do have a lot of them coming in. Yes.
Now, this has been, was started by the Haskell family?
Yeah, Papa Haskell's, he owned 2 bars before this one in Signal Hill. The last one was the only one I remember the name was the Blue Room. And then he opened up this one in 1964, the bar for about 6 months, and then the restaurant in 1965.
Now give me your hours. You're open 7 days a week?
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. We open at 11. The dining closes at 10. Saturday and Sunday, 8 in the morning until 10 also. The bar stays open until 2 in the morning.
And the entertainment is the karaoke?
Karaoke is 2 nights a week, but we also have a DJ on Tuesdays. Thursday and Saturday night with live bands, normally rock and roll bands.
And what's your busiest night? Saturday?
Friday nights are my busiest night.
Well, you're centrally located, and as I said, I've been coming here for many, many years, and I just think it's great, and I wanted to show everybody in Long Beach. Give me your address, by the way, in case everybody doesn't know.
We are at 2400 East 7th Street in Long Beach. Our phone number is 562-438-3839. And we also have a webpage. It's prospectorlongbeach.com.
And that's actually at the corner of 7th and Junipero.
That is correct.
I want to thank you for letting me stop by and say hello.
Thank you very much.
And I'll be back because I come here periodically because I just think it's a fun place to be.
Hey, you guys are welcome. I'll keep as low prices as possible, and the quality of the food will always be there.
Good. And thanks for joining us again, and be sure and come back and join us again next month as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're going to be visiting the East Village and see what surprises they have in store for us. And joining me as my tour guide today is Casey Carver. Casey, welcome. And
Hi.
Casey is the president of the East Village Association. What is the East Village?
Well, the East Village is from Ocean Boulevard to 10th Street, from Alamitos to Long Beach Boulevard. It's a very eclectic neighborhood of a lot of stores, galleries, restaurants, bars, where we celebrate a lot of art and celebrate the people of our city and the beauty that they create.
And we're standing here at the corner of Broadway and Linden, and I just wanted to point out some of the historic buildings you have. The one across the street was built, I believe, in 1933. It's a Streamline Moderne. And I point this out because in a little while we're going to see this replicated in tile. Across the street we have the Lafayette Complex, and also we have on the other corner here we have the Broadland Hotel. So these are 3 of the buildings here that have historic significance in the district, and where do you want to go from here?
Well, Harvey, just to thank you for showing off our buildings. Remember that part of the East Village's charm is that we do have a lot of beautiful old historic buildings. And right now I'd like to show you, this is our Portfolio Cafe. And just on this street we have an Indonesian store, we have a Moroccan store, and a lot of beautiful things.
Did you want to go down and visit the Moroccan store while we're here?
Yes, if they're open. Let's go see. Okay.
And as we go by here, Casey, I want to point out the Mystic Tide. Now, this is a sculpture, and I believe the artist is...
I am not sure who the artist is. This was put up about 1995. There are a series of sculptures like this along the Broadway, and they are to represent some of the little animals that you'd find at the bottom of the sea that you never see. They're microscopic many times, and we did this because it was to represent some of the things you might see in our new aquarium, which was being planned at that time.
Dean Smith was the artist.
Dean Smith.
And
okay.
these are 15-foot high poles, and the sculptures themselves weigh 350 pounds, and this one happens to be called Sanctuary.
Well, you know it, and it's very good. I've lived here all my life, but I didn't know all the history about this. I do know about a lot of the other artwork that we've done recently. We have switchgear boxes, we have bike racks, everything, and so I'd love to show that to you.
Oh, we'll check them out along the way. Now, Casey, this is one of your art projects. Tell me about it.
Well, this is one of 36 switchgear boxes that we had painted in the East Village. This is done by a wonderful artist named Dana Fox. He is also from Long Beach Arts at 7th Street in Alamitos. Dana is one of our fine artists who has been in Long Beach for a long time. You can see he's depicted the convention center, and then on another side we have the aquarium, which is a great rendition. And then on the other side we have our World Trade Center. No, that's Landmark, I'm sorry, Landmark Center on Ocean. And the last is the Queen Mary with fireworks. And it just represents some of the most beautiful things about our city. And we painted these so that we would have a lot of tourists noticing all the beauty of the area. You can see part of the framing has sort of an Art Deco look, which is very representative of the East Village.
They're really quite attractive, much more attractive than just a big old white switch box.
Correct. And remember that there are 36 of them within Ocean Boulevard to 7th Street and from Long Beach Boulevard to Alamitos. That's quite a concentration. We're also planning on painting about 30 more. And they're all by individual artists. 36 different people did this.
And I want to point out as we walk along here the glass bricks here, because the basement of the Broadland Hotel comes out underneath the sidewalk.
Correct.
And this is what lets the light in to the underground area.
Right, and they're planning on doing quite a few things with this wonderful old building. Right now we have a beautiful store here that just opened called Danner Broadland Furnishings for the Home. And they have many antiques and antique reproductions and a lot of furniture. It's a beautiful store that uses the space, which is a 2-story space and upstairs display space you can see from the street. It really looks great, and they're restoring the building right now, and it's one of our jewels.
This, by the way, is one of my favorite buildings in Long Beach. And while we go across here, I want to point out a couple other things across the street at the Broadland Hotel. If you look up at the top, you'll see the ram's head, and that was part of the symbol for the Parisian Internationale in 1924, which was the start of the Art Deco period. And right above the Lafayette entryway, you'll notice the sculpture there, which is Night and Day, which is a replica from the De Medici tomb in Florence, Italy. And I point that out because we're going to see this again replicated.
Correct, we will. And I wanted to introduce my friend who lives at the Lafayette. And this is Gregory Jeffers. And Greg, just tell him what it's like to live down here.
Well, I've been here for about 5 years, and I love actually what the whole village has become. I mean, it's really become a vibrant part of downtown and vibrant part of Long Beach. I mean, 10 years ago we wouldn't walk downtown, and now there's a lot of people moving down here. It's a very comfortable place to live, even at night. Walking, and people are very comfortable. It's a great place for artists and art enthusiasts.
And we also have our second Saturday art walks here on Linden between 1st and Broadway. The second Saturday of every month. We start about a little before sunset and go until late in the night. We have music and bands, and you can see this on our website, eastvillageartsdistrict.com. By the way, Greg and I are also part of St. Baldrick's. We're going to be shaving our heads again for raising money for kids with cancer. And we plan to raise $50,000 right here in Long Beach in the Arts District to support the Memorial Hospital's Miller's Children's Hospital in Long Beach and other charities like that through stbaldricks.com. So it'll be on our website. Check it out.
You know, one of the neat things about living in the Lafayette, even though it's a historic building, this was the first Miss Universe
Universe
was
back in
held here.
1952.
I believe in the old ballroom, the first televised boxing match took place, and this, after the Lafayette Hotel closed down, was the first building on the West Coast to be converted into condominiums.
Residential condominiums, right in 1969. Yes.
Correct, and I had my high school prom here.
Now you're giving away your age.
Yes, I do. It was in the new ballroom, which has been torn down, and now they're building a new hotel right there.
All right, let's continue on down.
Let's go on down.
Thanks for stopping by.
Take care.
All right.
Okay, I just wanted to point out the Campbell Apartments. This was built, I believe, in around 1928. This was the third building in the Lafayette complex when it was the Hilton Hotel, or the Lafayette Hotel, owned by the Hilton chain. Joining me now is Phil Appleby, and I have to give Phil credit because I think in 1991 you were the one who spearheaded the renaissance of the East Village Art District, and I want to thank you for it because you've had a tremendous success. And this, speaking of successes, is going to be your next accomplishment. Tell me about it.
Well, you know, in life you should always have small goals and then one big, hairy, audacious goal. And this is our most recent hairy, audacious goal. It is a somewhere between a 40 and a 50,000 square foot building that we hope to build in the East Village. It will house artists, about 70 to 100 artists. They will work. They will not live in these spaces, but they will work and they will market their artwork in this facility. The models are all over the country, but this is a little bit unique. We've modeled it a little bit after the Torpedo Factory in Alexandria, Virginia. But this one has a little bit of a flair. We have industrial art as a strong component in Long Beach, and so we will have a theater where people can sit and watch glass blowers and other industrial artists do their particular artwork. We hope that this will get off the ground in the next several years. We would like the support of the redevelopment agency and the City of Long Beach, and they have been 100% behind this project.
Good. I wish you luck, and I can't wait to see it finished. Because, you know, one thing I like about this, you said you're going to have a theater where people can watch. That's almost like Savory had when he first developed the colony down here in the 1920s.
In the East Village.
Yeah. It was called Wayside Colony.
Wayside Colony, yeah.
Some of our viewers might remember the old Brittany Kitchen, the rooftop theater, which later became the Long Beach Playhouse. So this is right on line with what he envisioned back in the 20s.
Kind of part of the Cosmo.
Absolutely. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, and welcome to the East Village.
Thank you. Casey, this is a fantastic piece of artwork in tile, and I wanted to point this out. Not only is it a transit bench, but you'll notice again the replication of Night and Day that was on the Lafayette Hotel down there.
Correct, and this is done by our wonderful friend Carrie Zarders. She is an artist who does all kinds of beautiful ceramic. She does fountains, everything, and we're just so pleased that this is right here. You notice on the side of the bench, you'll see some advertisements for some of the old businesses that used to be in downtown Long Beach, probably in the 20s and 30s when Art Deco was big. And so she wanted to represent some of the old businesses and the history in the East Village. There's also a pillar here that's very beautiful. And it is also done in an Art Deco style, and it represents some of the other buildings and styles that you'll see throughout the East Village. Remember that we have a huge amount of history here and a lot of beautiful art that you may need to go inside a building to see.
These are all individual little pieces of tile that she has...
Correct, and she did all this, and we're just so pleased. This is what we're doing in the East Village. Many more projects like this. We have all kinds of other things planned with our art park, and then also a lot more mosaic. We want to do benches and decorated pots and all kinds of other things because we feel that it's very substantial, it's sturdy, it's beautiful, it'll last forever.
Okay, let's go across the street because I know there's some tile work over there that I want to point out because it's as well as spectacular as well.
Of course, we got lots of it. Let's go.
All right.
This is our village Tour de Art bus. It takes people through the historic district and also up to the Museum of Latin American Art. Lots of other places along the way.
And that's a free ride?
It's a minimal charge, and I think sometimes it's free. We hope to have that going during our Tour des Artistes in June. I wanted to show you our wonderful Utopia restaurant. Look up here, and this is a mosaic by Mike McCormick, another Long Beach artist. He actually teaches for Long Beach City College mosaic classes, and his website is Mike McCormick, or Mike's Mosaic, that's it. And this building, wonderful old Art Deco building, we have written a grant which the city gave us $300,000 to improve this whole block. And what we're going to do is enhance all of the beauty of this building by adding extra lighting. Of course, it will be Art Deco. It will show off the building better, and it will brighten the street. Because this is right where we have our second Saturday art walks, where there's hundreds of people walking around, and we wanted to have it lighter. So let's go inside the restaurant.
I just want to point out before we go in that this was a building that was designed by Schilling & Schilling, who also did the Lafayette Hotel complex. All right, Casey, would you introduce our guest?
Good. We're in the Utopia restaurant, and this is Cameron Asadi, the owner.
Now, you not only serve great food, but you have an art exhibit also, don't you?
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, we rotate our exhibition every 2 months, and we feature local artists and some not so local artists. The current exhibition we have is a German photographer and actually a local photographer. So
good. Well, I'm going to see you Saturday because I'm having dinner here.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I want to point out some beautiful tile work. This was a community development block grant for street improvement, and some of the street improvement along First Street here was the tile work. You'll notice we're standing in front of Flowers by Vicky, and if you look at the tile work here, and you can tell me who the artist is.
Well, the artist is Tom Barter, who is from Long Beach, and now he's living in New Zealand. He's done a lot of great artwork, and we're going to see a lot of it at this building. This is the first facade improvement program that we did in the East Village a few years ago, and then we have our second one that has been granted to us that will start in March.
You notice I point this out because this is the back of the Broadland Hotel, which is right down on the corner of Broadway and Linden. Let's take a short walk down here and look at some of the other tile work. Now, is the tile work all by the same artist?
It's all done by Tom Barter, and then he had other people working for him, but he is the one who designed it, fired everything himself, and he did it all in his studio right in Long Beach, a place called Silica Studios where they have glass blowing, ceramic, and other industrial arts.
And here's it almost in front of the Passport Coffee Shop with another one of the Mystic Tide sculptures, and
Correct.
Again, that's Sanctuary.
Right. Very beautiful. I love the colors, I love the brightness, and it also mixes in with the Art Deco look of the neighborhood. You can see the top pillars
Now,
really
I
accentuate
believe
that.
this is an apartment building which is between Broadway and 3rd Street on Linden.
I think that is part of the 555 building where the 555 restaurant is.
You're right, because this is the
Cooper Arms
Cooper
right in the
Arms.
back. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and he represented so much of the new and the old in the town, how it all blends together.
Boy, this really makes a big improvement for the street. It's just
Correct.
really beautiful.
Correct, and we have our second Saturday art walks here, and we do encourage everybody to come and see the art that's permanently here. Now this is at 3rd and Linden.
Right, this is the apartment building I was talking about, and the church there on 3rd Street.
COA is right there, and once again, he made sort of a beauty out of something that might need some work there, but it's really gorgeous. I just love that.
He fired the tiles himself and did the whole process?
Correct. He's a master artist, and we're sorry that he moved to New Zealand, but he and his daughter and his wife is from New Zealand, and I'm sure he's just dazzling them down under.
Now this is why I stopped at Broadway and Linden, because I wanted to point out the Streamline Moderne building. Here it is replicated, and he did a fantastic job. It looks the same as the original building.
Correct, and this is owned by Nancy Downs Chitty at the corner of Broadway and Linden, and we're very pleased that she has restored it and kept it looking very Art Deco, sort of like South Beach in Miami.
Nancy Downs?
Nancy Downs Chitty.
She has a home that has a chapel in it?
Yes, she owns a house with a chapel. She doesn't live there anymore, but she used to do weddings in the chapel, which used to be a Jewish temple.
I was installed as president of Long Beach Heritage in that chapel.
Well,
so let's go on down.
Wait. Good, and I wanted you to see down the street we have a lot of unique businesses. We have a futon place, we have a wonderful Chinese restaurant, and then a trophy store. But once again, overall, we have a lot more tile here. This was part of a facade improvement grant, and we also did the whole building. We added the lighting, we added a lot of other things, and Phil Appleby and the East Village Association did all of this years ago. But
this is quite a piece of artwork here.
And this is also by Tom Barter, and he just installed this a couple of months ago. It is also paid for by Long Beach Transit as well as the bench that we saw. And Tom designed this. It is to represent a lot of kids' bicycles and tricycles stacked up to pick up the theme of the transient type thing. And this is right in front of Al's Fish Market, and one of great little things. In fact, if you were to come around to this side, you'll probably see the name Barter 2002. And so he signed it in a very unique way, because Tom's just a real fun guy, really nice and interesting, and we're very pleased that his art is here. We do intend to do more pieces like this so that we can, once again, show off our artists and show off their art.
Fantastic tile work.
Yeah. And behind it, by the way, is the Hotel des Artistes. And this is a regular rooming house. It's probably single apartments, but we call it Hotel des Artistes because it represents the arts in our neighborhood. Okay, and I'd also like to introduce my vice president of the East Village Association, Wade Francis.
Wade, welcome.
Welcome to you. Thank you.
Wade owns the Gatsby apartment that we're going to see later on.
Okay, and what do you want to tell us about the East Village?
Well, we made an investment in the East Village last year because we've been noticing all the wonderful things that's been happening. And when you look down here, what we see is the trend is people want to be back into an urban environment. So the urban exodus is pretty much over, and people now want to come back into a place where they can have nice things. They can walk to the theater, they can walk to the beach, have good blue line to go up to LA and onto Hollywood and to Pasadena. And now is a good time to make an investment. And so we've been very happy with what we've been able to do down here, and we're just very pleased with where the whole neighborhood's going.
Well, good. Let's go see some more.
That sounds good.
Right.
Joining me now is the artist Steve Elliker, and Steve, I think you had a lot to do with designing this pocket park.
Well, there's a lot of people that had a lot to do with it actually, but I've been fortunate enough to be kept on the job throughout the entirety of the project.
Who did the gates?
Lisa Jacobs and Tom Walker designed and fabricated the gates, and the glass insets I actually produced in my studio.
And tell me about the park. What's it going to be used for?
Well, the idea was that it's a park within the arts community, and the way the process started, we did a design charrette, and the community came together and had a list of things that they would like to see happen in this space. And then it was my task to work with the landscape architect and try and make as many of those things feasible, but still maintain the integrity of a park.
So you have a little stage here where you can have small venues?
Well, correct. The idea is, you know, performance art is a possibility, and the grid that's an aesthetic element turns into like a backdrop, an opportunity for a backdrop for, say, Shakespeare in the Park type situation, or maybe hanging large format artwork, things of that nature.
And this will be a wisteria arbor here?
That's correct. And, you know, it'll probably take a good, 3 years or so for the landscape to fully mature and come in, but eventually the wisteria will go across the top, and then when it goes into bloom once a year, it'll kind of drop and have this kind of veiled entrance kind of statement.
Now, these, I assume, are specially designed benches?
That's correct. Another local artist, Koji Wakayoshi, made these, and they're fabricated of ironwood. And we wanted something, we kind of call them a meditation bench. They're kind of wide enough for someone to come in and sit on, or even have a lunch on and still feel comfortable, you know, a wide enough surface.
And I believe you're going to have your dedication here very soon, aren't you?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a date that works for everyone. It's going to be a pretty big event with City Council and RDA and everyone that's been involved along the way. I think we're looking late March, early April, sometime like that.
It'll be nice when all the vegetation is grown up and it blocks out the view here to the south, the buildings, and just will give it just a really neat feeling in here.
I agree. I think that, you know, you try to see 3 years from now when the vines are grown up and you don't see all of the visual traffic. Really what you start to focus on is the skyline, which is beautiful from here. So
while we're standing here, I want to point out across the street, the parking lot over there. I believe that's where the new building that you want to construct here in the East Village will be going?
We are surely hopeful of that. The arts community is kind of rallying together to try and be taken serious as a serious new construction project for the city of Long Beach and employ artists, offer them an opportunity to actually sell their work in Long Beach as well. So things have gone forward. We got a feasibility study, and now we need to sell the city and RDA on the project.
Thanks for stopping by and giving me your tour of the park. And
You bet.
I come for the grand opening.
Excellent. My pleasure.
All right. Okay, this is another switch box here, and the artist is?
Our Terrazina, and this is just one of the many variations of the switchgear boxes that we have of the 36. Everyone is so unique and so different. None of them look alike.
And I think we have time to make one more stop, and I have something in mind, so let's go.
All right.
Casey, this looks like an outdoor garden. What is it?
Of course it is. It's Long Beach Organics Community Garden. It's their East Village garden. And we have, once again, we're going to have a facade improvement program where we'll build a new iron gate around this garden. We're actually going to set it back from the street about 10 to 12 feet. And then we'll put 2 benches at the entry. It'll have an arched gate over it with lighting. And then we'll have maybe a water element if we can do it, some kind of a fountain. But we're going to use our local artists to do a lot of ceramic and beautify it and also make it another little place to sit.
Okay, we have just a minute or two left, and I have to go into the House of Hayden.
You betcha we do, because this is probably the most unique place because of the bathrooms.
All right. Okay, we're in the House of Hayden, and this is David Hayden next to me. And we came in here because they have the most unusual bathrooms in the city of Long Beach. David, tell me about it.
Well, I designed it to look like the Alamo jail cell. That's what I call it anyhow.
And it's all
It's all cement. Yeah, it's institutional. It's all penal wear for jailhouses. It's all brand new equipment, but that's what it is.
So this is exactly the same type of equipment that would be in a jail or prison?
Yeah,
or
county jail or something like that. Yeah, that's it. Stainless steel.
That's unusual, and it's really neat. Let's check out the women's bathroom while we're here.
Okay. It's a little upscale, I think, from the boys.
Oh, it's a little fancier, but it still has the institutional look. That's great. Casey, thanks for joining me today. Since there's so much to see in the East Village, we're going to have to do 2 shows. So this is part 1, and we'll do part 2, which will be shown at a later date. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
And be sure and join us again next month as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures. Another Nation of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we find ourselves once again in the historic Bluff Park neighborhood area, and we're going to go and visit two really magnificent homes here in Bluff Park. The one behind me is a 1905 classic box. You can see it's called a classic box because both sides of the home is replicated. What's on one side is also on the other side. You'll notice large double windows on the ground floor with leaded panels above. On the second floor you'll find double hung windows, and the balcony covers the entire length of the house, both on the first and second story. So this is a magnificent home, and this is sometimes referred to as the Queen of the Street. So let's go in and take a tour of this home, and I think you'll really be impressed. Hello, Michelle. I'm Harvey.
Hi, nice to meet you, Harvey.
And this is Michelle Smith, and she owns this absolutely fantastic home. Would you take me on a tour?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Okay, come on in. Let me close the door. All right, if you'd like, we'll start to the right.
All right.
Which is the formal living room, which hardly gets any use, but it's fun to have anyway. So, as you know, this house was built in 1905, and this is the original flooring. It's the original plaster. All we really did before we moved in was paint.
Wow.
And
the size of the house?
The size of the house is about 5,000 square feet
total.
Oh,
that's large.
It's pretty big, very big. But a lot of room to move around in. I have a cat that just loves this big house. He's got plenty of spaces to go play and hide.
This is beautiful. Can we
Sure.
go on?
Keep going forward this way to the left. And this is like a little library.
Oh, wow.
And as you can see, it has the built-in bookcases, which are very cozy, and a fireplace that's a gas, does not burn real wood, but it's cozy enough for this little room for a little reading in the winter.
It's a beautiful chandelier.
Oh, it's a Waterford chandelier, as a matter of fact. And
Really?
Yeah, and that was actually it was here when I purchased the home in 1997. All the fixtures were left.
That's a beautiful marble fireplace.
In fact, all the fireplaces you'll see throughout the home, these are antique marble fireplace mantles that were brought over from France.
Wow.
And put in. So, but it works well with the house, with the flavor of the house.
Looks like we're going into the dining room.
Yes, going into the dining room, which is still part of the original 1905. Pretty generic dining room.
But they're nice-sized rooms.
They really are. For 1905, you would expect to see smaller rooms, and these are really pretty good size.
That's a heavy-duty chandelier.
I have to tell you, I did not pick that out, but I do like it there. But it's a big one, for sure.
I hope it's earthquake proof.
Well, so far, so good. We'll cross our fingers.
Good.
So.
Oh, another dining room?
Well, this is what we actually call the eating room, or the eating area, because this is where we spend most of our time. It's more informal. You know, you don't care if you mess up the table and do whatever. It's not as fragile.
Oh, this is a nice room. This is a comfortable room.
It's a very comfortable room. Like a lot with all the windows, a lot of area. You know, the sun gets in. It's open. It's area. I like it a lot. Very nice.
I like those chandeliers too.
Aren't they something?
Yeah, they're really neat.
They're really different too. You know, they're not just a normal chandelier that you would see in this 1905 type home. So now, but if you'll look where this post is here, from here forward, when you look out towards the pool, is where the addition was added on in 1987. So from here forward, it was built new, and if you'll notice the windows, the beveled windows, and the flooring, the architect and the people who did the add-on, they did everything to match the 1905, which is really a lot of work and a lot of detail put into it.
This is a beautiful room.
This is actually the room that made me buy this house. When I walked in and saw this room and the pool, I thought, I love this house.
Could we run out and look at the pool area for just a minute?
Sure, if you'd like to. Now, the architect, when you go out back, you'll look back towards the house, but the architect who built this add-on designed the back part of this house after the Wrigley Mansion on Catalina Island.
Oh.
And you know, I've never been to Catalina Island, so I've never seen that mansion, but I've been told. So if you walk out this way, and then you look back towards the back, I've been told that veranda, that area, the curvature is like the mansion on Wrigley, at the Wrigley Mansion on Catalina Island.
What an impressive.
The backyard, I love the backyard. It's very nice, it's private, except for, of course, the monolith over there, the Galaxy Tower. Other than that, it's very private, it's quiet, we have great neighbors, it's a great neighborhood. Looking forward to summer starting.
Oh, I can imagine. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I think we missed the kitchen.
I think we did, and so just go through the kitchen real quick. So as we come up here, here's the kitchen. All the lights we have right now.
Oh, this is really laid out nicely.
It is. It's laid out nicely. It's nice and cozy. We have the, the island here makes it very convenient for cooking. But you know, it's not too big. It's got all the conveniences that you'd want, so it's a very cozy kitchen. I like it a lot. I had this hand painted. We had a friend, someone who actually worked for me for a while. She actually hand painted this, the kitchen.
Oh.
She did a great job.
She sure did.
Yeah, she's very good. In fact, she used to design jewelry for St. John Knits, so she's a very talented person, too. So we come back, we're back into the eating area.
Okay.
And you go this way, and this, when you look through here, is the laundry room to the right, and you keep going back, what you'll see is the pool bath. But this used to be the 1905 kitchen.
I love this
It used to be no
leaded
kitchen.
glass.
Oh, isn't it beautiful?
That is so beautiful.
I mean, if you look at the leaded glass here, and out through there, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Wow, this is spectacular.
This
is called what?
It's called the pool bath. If you go through this door and take a left, you're at the pool. So the design is you come in after swimming, you've got the chlorine, you come in here, you rinse off, and you don't go through the main house. Which is very private, too, walking back and forth. It's very high hedges on the other side.
Oh, this is spectacular.
I know, I just love the tile work and everything they did. They had excellent taste in doing this. And these are Waterford, also, which they left. So.
Everything is better.
It does, I'm telling you, it's a fun place to live. If you like, I can show you upstairs.
All right.
Okay. This is the original stairwell, 1905. That's why it's a little narrow.
It is a little narrow.
And when you come up to the top, we'll go left into the master bedroom. And this is just a walk-through closet.
Oh, this is nice and large.
Well, it's a work in progress. I'm still doing a few things, to decorate it and whatever, but it's quite large. I tell you, if you're sick, this is a great place to convalesce.
Oh, I can imagine.
No, it's a great place. And like, if you notice the flooring, they had it milled to match the 1905. They really did a beautiful job.
Because this is part of the addition.
Part of the addition. Mm-hmm.
And the fireplace works?
Fireplace works. It's a wood-burning fireplace. Same place. They purchased that marble mantle from France and brought it in. So it works well.
Now, that was all brought in 1905 when the house was built, or later?
This is addition. This is not 1905. This is 1987. But they brought that in to kind of match the other fireplaces that were here.
And I assume this is the master bath in here?
Yes. In here.
It can't be any more spectacular than the pool bath.
Well, they used a lot of marble, which is beautiful. I love the marble. And this is the master bath, excuse me.
Oh, I guess it can get more spectacular.
That tub's actually too big for me. So it's a huge tub. It's got beautiful marble. And, I mean, they spared no expense. I'd love to take credit for all of this add-on and everything, but I can't. The guys who owned it before me did this, but they did not spare any expense at all.
But it must be great to live here.
You know, it is fun, I have to admit. We'll walk out back to this way.
Okay.
Back here. And this is also part, not all of this, but half of this is part of the add-on. And I use this in my office. I work at home a lot. And if you go out through those doors, there's a veranda, which has a working fireplace. If you'll see, I have a TV out there. We love to watch football and have a weenie roast out there with the fireplace sometimes. So,
how neat.
Yeah, it's very nice. The balcony sweeps all the way around on the other side of the master bedroom. So it's very big and spacious, and it's a lot of fun just sitting out there.
And still very private.
Still absolutely very private. Yeah, they designed this very well. Because there's really no way to see in, because the fireplace you'll see blocks the view from the neighbors on that side. It's very private. So this is a nice office where, if I'm lucky, I get to work home.
It must be fun to go to work.
You know it is. Usually I can just stay in my jammies.
All right. we're going to have to hurry on.
All right, then just this is the other bathroom.
Okay, you have to mention this.
Well, this is what we call the Versace bathroom. All these tiles are Versace tile.
Oh, that's
And
gorgeous.
it's like a French bathroom. It doesn't have, you know, it's got the shower without the curtains, you know, because it's all tiles, so it's okay if you get water everywhere.
Will you take a shower without a curtain on there?
I don't, but you know, in France they do, because everything's tile, and then, you know, it's like, to me, it's very messy, but
That's
but you
gorgeous.
could. Thank you. And then down here is just the front part of the house, and to the left is just a spare bedroom, a guest bedroom.
So you have 3 bedrooms?
Actually, 3 bedrooms, right. And this is a bedroom, but basically that's where my cat is now being held hostage so he doesn't roam around and get out. So it's 3 bedrooms and an office.
So you could have 4 if you wanted.
I could have 4 if I wanted, but this works out really well.
This is unusual texture on the wall. Is that sort of a faux
Well,
finish?
it is, yeah, it's a faux finish, and it basically just put paint on and then took a dry brush and just brushed it in.
Oh.
Did it ourselves, did not, you know, have someone come do it. It just kind of turned out this way.
And this, I guess, we go back down to the entryway.
Absolutely.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you also have a full attic.
I do. In fact, the attic is almost half the size of this house.
Wow.
It's huge, and it's got little hidden doorways. It's the best storage place. Because, you know, you typically don't get attics in California homes.
This is a fantastic home. I want to thank you so much for letting us see it. I believe you were once on the home tour, were you not, of Bluff Park?
Yes, I think the first one, when they started doing them again in 1999, we were on the home tour.
Oh.
But at that time, we only let people see the downstairs. They didn't really get to go through the whole house. We just had moved in.
I guess I was lucky because somebody took me through the whole house on that day. So I guess I was privileged.
I think you got here a little early.
Might have.
And
I'm
because you're
always
Harvey,
early.
Because you're Harvey, of course. So
I want to thank you because this
You're
is
welcome.
absolutely fantastic.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Long Beach Treasures.
See, you fell for their hidden costs offer.
No, the offer said free.
Hidden costs, free. They're all one and the same to a satellite company. Let's add it up. Protection fee for local channels, fee for extra outlets, and the total comes to not free.
Way not free.
Hey! Get that thing off my roof!
Ready for an upgrade? Move to Charter Digital and go where satellite can't.
The dish is a disease. We're the cure. Call 1-888-GET-CHARTER.
Welcome to the El Dorado Park Golf Course, where golf pros like me hang out. I can never count on my putting, but I can always rely on El Dorado's Eagle Specials. $2.95 breakfast, $4.95 lunches, and $6.95 dinners. Even if you're not a pro, you can enjoy great service at even better prices. The El Dorado Park Golf Course Restaurant and Pub.
Welcome back. Here we are at another one of the most beautiful homes in Bluff Park. This 1920 handsome 2-story structure is rectangular in plan, symmetrical in style, and capped by a turreted hipped roof with French doors that open onto a semicircular balcony with a wood railing. The balcony serves as a porch cover supported by 4 circular columns with square capitals. The entrance is wide, flanked by side lights and an elliptical fan light above. This is another gorgeous home here in Bluff Park. So if you'll come with me, we'll go up and ring the doorbell and see if we can have a tour of this spectacular home. Hi, Jean.
How are you?
I'm great.
Come on in.
This is Jean Chapin. She's one of the owners here of this gorgeous home, and she's going to take us on a tour and give us a treat.
Welcome and thank you for coming to visit us. I'd like to say, Harvey, that this home was built in 1921. It is a Georgian revival architecture, and the first Ford dealer that moved to the western side of the United States built this home.
So there's a Ford in your future?
There is, absolutely. So we'll start with the formal living room.
How big is this house?
It is probably approximately 4,000 square feet. We actually have, the house was in deplorable condition. We bought it about 21 years ago, and we have had to completely redo the house. There were no crown moldings, there were no columns. Unfortunately, the woods were in such poor condition, we couldn't bring them down back to a natural state, so we had to paint them. But as it turned out, we like it better that way anyway.
And it looks like you've tried to keep it sort of in a natural state.
Absolutely. We have done everything we can. Each time we have redone a room, refurbished it in order to keep it in an original state. Unfortunately, much of the rooms were in such poor condition that we weren't able to do it, but we tried to stay close as we could.
This is a large living room, isn't it?
Yes, it was. It was actually had a separate area to it. From this point on, there was an arch here when we first bought the home. It made the living room very small. This was done on a concrete flooring, and it was called the music room. We took the arch out. It was all cracked anyway. We took it, moved it back to the walls, brought it back to a music part of the room anyway, so it's really still exactly what it was built to be.
Let's sneak out here for just a moment.
Right.
This looks like this would be a great place to entertain.
This is where everybody wants to be. This is our, we call our country porch. We built it onto the property when we did our original construction, when we first moved in. It was an old Anthony pool that was in the back, green at the time, but we actually replastered it, kept the sides of the pool, and then bricked the entire backyard. We did all of the bricking. Everything you see pretty much is completely redone.
Is that a pool house in the back?
That's a pool house, a little single we keep, which is storing our dogs as we're doing this little tour. And it is nice for guests and whatever we need it for at the time. So there's a back stairwell that goes to the house. We don't use it frequently, but it's back there. We have a small basement that houses our heating system, certainly nothing more than that. And this is a great area. This is the best place to be in the summertime.
Well, let's go in and
all right.
Go.
We'll probably, let's go this way. We'll move into the, this is actually the old breakfast room.
Oh, I feel right at home here.
Yes, this is the place area. That's the second place, everybody. They start here and end up in the porch area. This was a enclosed breakfast room when we bought it. And the kitchen was very, very small. So we took all the walls out and moved it open, have an open feel. This was originally called a maid's bathroom. This was all enclosed, and it had a sink in it, and that was all that was in it. Came from the side into the entrance area. So we just blew out the wall and made it certainly work better for us being a bar area.
Great floor.
Thank you. We just redid the floor again. Started out with white tile our first round, and white tile countertops. We've just redone it this year, put travertine throughout, and put black countertops on and moved up to stainless steel. This is our, you're looking now into an, oh, let's go this way.
Let's go this way, and then we'll come back to the best part.
This is our original powder room that actually has a bathtub hidden behind the little seating area. We still have, if you notice, the shower is still there, and we have redone this bath about 3 times, and this is our latest little decorating that we've done with it. But everybody loves it because it hides a tub under there, and you can actually pull it out and use it if you want to.
Looks neat.
It's fun. This is the formal dining room.
Your leaded glass windows are gorgeous.
All of the leaded glass we actually installed, but the rest of the fan windows in the home are original, and they're wonderful. I mean, I think that's probably what makes the home so unique and pretty from the street. This is an interesting pocket door. A lot of people like to see this, only because it goes all the way across.
Oh.
So as you can see, we didn't know at the time that it was glass because there had been a senior that they were using this for a bedroom before we purchased the home, and this was all painted.
White.
Painted white. So we found out about 2 months or 3 months after we were here that it was actually glass and not wood.
I would think that's unusual to have a one-piece pocket door rather than two.
Very, very, and very long. It's
Yeah.
a big opening. So he had some unique things about it, but there were a lot of things about it, the house that, the home that we were really surprised about, that it had no moldings, that, you know, crown moldings, that it didn't have any special built-ins of any sort, but it had the windows, and that's what really counted.
Let's go on up.
Okay.
You ever feel like Scarlett O'Hara as you descend these
I've
stairs?
tried to come down that way a couple of times, but I don't know. I don't think I quite do it like I should. This is all the original stairwell, which is quite lovely. The wood is still beautiful. It was painted black when we got here. We had to sand it all back to even find the brown color. When we originally purchased the home, actually a little fun story about the home, it was actually a sorority for 18 months for Cal State Long Beach.
Oh, really?
9 girls lived here. So we don't know exactly how the original configuration of the home was up in this area, because when we got here, the entrance, was right over here. This was all closed up, and there was a big bedroom that was an L shape. I think they chopped up a couple of bedrooms to house all the girls in one spot.
I noticed the
Original.
leaded glass. So is that a flat roof?
No, actually, there's a small flat roof on the top that has a little skylight in it, and but the rest of the roof is a tile pitch.
So we're going to go this way?
Mm-hmm. So we just arched this, tried to center it, opened this all up so we could have the sunlight. Our new part of our home, we just had this hand built.
That's gorgeous.
And we're very pleased with it.
That's a closet?
It's a closet.
Wow.
And it's great. We had some young gentlemen.
The workmanship is
incredible.
Fantastic.
Because everybody thinks it's an old piece in the home, and it's actually new.
Wow.
So we just redecorated in here, did some construction. This was actually just built in. It's just closets. We don't like a lot of furniture. This part of the home was actually the end of the home.
Uh-oh, look at this.
And this was a porch. So we decided that we never liked the bathroom we put in. It was very small. So we utilized the porch area and had these, again, trying to keep the area of the home. We had these built, which look more antique-y. And then we just put it all together. So we look out at this when we're in our bathroom, which is pretty wonderful. The best part about the home, and of course, it's all travertine, is the step-in shower.
So you don't need a shower curtain?
Nothing. It's wonderful. If I recommend anybody in the entire world to do a shower, come talk to me. I think this is the best.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
No glass to clean. You don't have to put a door on it, and you can sit down, and it's quite wonderful. So that's our special shower. Actually, I used to bathe every day, and I don't. I shower every day now that I have such a wonderful shower.
I think I'd shower at least twice a day if I had that.
I do on occasion.
This is gorgeous.
So this is the master, and then this area, luckily, we were able to keep pretty original. This is really just a guest bedroom, and again with a wonderful fan window. And it's just, it was in pretty good shape. It was, we were able to keep this bathroom. It's all original, and it's a wonderful little bathroom. Has a little secret little tub area that's kind of like a little cave that all our guests seem to love. But the tiles in here are beautiful and all original. We have a laundry room that we just put in. We got tired of doing it downstairs, and as you will see in a few minutes, we changed the whole downstairs, so we now have our laundry and put it upstairs. So just a little secret place up here so we don't have to drag everything downstairs. Another bedroom. Again, it was in pretty good shape, so we didn't have to do a lot to it.
You have nice colors in your house.
Thank you. Thank you. I like sunshine. This room is the only part of the home that, when we bought it, had old windows built around it. It was not part of the home, and as you could tell by the low ceilings, this was kind of a storage room. I don't think they did much with it, a workout room. So we closed all the windows up. We put a fireplace in it. and different windows, and we really just created it for our, at one time was our little den office.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's
Okay.
go downstairs because we have to show this room and before we run out of time.
Okay, this is the new addition, and this is not these stairs, but this is the old garage that we just built a new garage on the back end of the property. And
Look at this.
we just finished this, and this is our new family room off the kitchen. This used to be the back porch, which is now a built-in banquette. And we had...
I bet you use this more than the dining room, don't you?
Oh, always. Absolutely. I never go to the dining room.
The woodwork in here is phenomenal. Whoever did it is a master craftsman.
Rand Howell was our nephew, Dan Owens, did the architecture, and Rand Howell group, his team put this together for us, and they're incredibly talented. They hand carved and cut all these pieces, and I watched him do it. We opened up this window, and this dip in the ceiling. There was a doctor that owned this house many years ago, 1957. He bought a Cadillac that had big fins. He couldn't fit it into the garage, so he added this section on to the garage. So instead of us bringing it straight across, we played with it and came up with a wonderful window. And
that gives you so much more light.
So much more light, and you must film the top of that because it's so incredible.
And now when you see yourself on TV, when this airs, you have this big screen that you can see yourself.
That's right. That's right. Built in, and
you'll have to invite me so I can watch it.
Well, we love this room, and this is very, very special for us. This is where we stay, and most of our company that comes over now stays here. Where this is all a travertine designed fireplace, has tiles on the side and full pieces of travertine. So, and that's what we did throughout the house. Every edge is, again, because of the extremely wonderful, talented people that we had working with us on this project.
So they built a new garage?
New garage on the back end that has 9 feet of storage on the front of it with a closet next to refrigerator, and we finally got a little bit of patch of grass on the back end, and a built-in barbecue, which is another area people like to.
And I see another bar area, or is that
yes,
the barbecue?
That's actually it's the barbecue, but
Oh.
they kind of end up being the bar actually. So this is our home, and we're so happy you came by to see us.
Jean, thanks for the tour. Your home is spectacular. If you want to see other spectacular homes in Bluff Park, come to the Bluff Park Home Tour on Sunday, May 16th. For information, reservations, or if you would like to be a docent in one of the homes, call area code 562-439-7663. Thanks for watching, and be sure and join us next time as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures.